the movie that we just got done watching, literally just got done watching, man. We just got home. Transformers 1. Dude, this is a prequel to the Transformers franchise. And what a film. What a film.
It's phenomenal.
Dude, it's like, look, man, I haven't seen the Transformers movies with my wife, Megan Fox, and Shia LaBeouf in a long time. Literally since I was probably in elementary school. So I got to go back and rewatch them. Mm-hmm. But there was a lot of, definitely a couple different Easter eggs, whether it's, like young Megatron and young, all the characters, Bumblebee, all of them. Yeah, man, this film I'm not gonna lie, like at first I was like, oh, this can be kind of that typical like kid animated movie, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of stupid jokes and stuff. And then it really ramped up, and they were like, okay, we're gonna save all the good stuff for the third act and just go off. And bro, they went off, dude. There were so many dope moments, so many great. It's a prequel, so you see these characters become who you know them as. And I wasn't even thinking, and me and Brayden weren't even thinking of. Look, we're gonna go ahead and spoil it for everybody that hasn't seen the film. We weren't even thinking of B-16 or whatever his name was becoming Megatron. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was a wild character switch, and the character development with him was amazing. I looked at you at
one point. It was probably like halfway through the movie, and I was like, dude, Megatron. And then we were like, oh my God.
Brayden called it out, man.
A little bit later it happened, and we were like, oh shit, we knew it, bro.
Yep. And right when Brayden said it, it was Brayden that called it out. I wouldn't even thought of it. But when he said that, like everything started clicking. I'm like, okay, it looks pretty similar to Megatron. Even though the one of the OG guys looked the one dude that turned into he looked a lot more like Megatron.
Well, that was the point, because I get what you're saying. I actually 100% agree. And it's funny enough, I guess it's just like I don't know, because you have the 100%. That was like the logo he took of that dude's face is the Megatron logo. You know what I mean?
Oh,
or like not Megatron logo, but you know what I mean? It's like the Decepticon logo.
I thought, I don't know why my face froze like that. That was crazy. Yeah, I don't know why.
No, but I don't know. I agree with you. His face could have it wasn't constructed as much. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know why that was. I thought the sticker.
The same thing with Optimus.
The sticker
they
wasn't
gave them more of a friendly face.
Right, but the sticker wasn't him. The sticker was the OG guy. Remember when he came across his Robo? He's like, "Oh my God, it's this guy." Yeah. I'm talking about the guy that was alive.
The Decepticon logo.
Yeah.
And then I understand. Yeah, my bad. I screwed that up. I know who you're talking about as well.
But that's crazy too. Knowing where that Decepticon logo came from was from the OG Transformer. That's crazy. Yeah. Like the OG leader.
The greatest Transformer.
Yeah, the greatest that's just nuts, dude. So I really liked that aspect of the film, and I mean specifically like there's a lot of funny stuff. Like there's a couple times where me and Brayden were dying laughing, dude. And it's that stupid stuff. Like it's like you could talk about it.
Badass
But yeah, it was the second time.
Badass.
Dude, Keegan-Michael Key did a really good job as Bumblebee, man. Bumblebee once again was the best one of the best. I don't know, definitely I would say the most likable character in the film. He's always the most likable. I don't know about the best character, because I think the character development of Optimus and of Megatron was so good. We'll get to that in a minute. But when it comes to Bumblebee, like he was definitely one of them. I would say the most likable in the film, but it wasn't like obnoxious. You know what I'm saying? They did a really good job with it. But my point is like this movie, the first two acts, like I was saying, felt like a typical kind of kids animation film. You know what I'm saying? At least for me. Those kind of really stupid, corny jokes like that we don't really care for. Some cool action here or there. I wasn't a big fan of the design of Optimus and all them at first. He was so small, whatever, which eventually then turned out to be a good thing. But it was just I wasn't a big fan of how it was looking, because Optimus was built like me. But then you get into the third act, and then it's like they said, okay, we got to make the first two acts kid friendly, make it for the kids. The third act, that's when we go crazy. And the third act is where like it felt like it went from a PG film to a PG-13 film, at least for me. And it just the everything was so good, so many good plot twists. I mean, bro, I don't even know where to start, because you got the plot twist of the big ruler that people looked up to, which then is what led Megatron to turn bad, right?
That's what I'm gonna
That
say.
was
For me, it
crazy.
was
Like,
kind of like somewhere in the middle, like somewhere in the second act is where I feel like it started to pick up. Or it's like
yeah.
because I agree with you so much. I feel like it started like a kids movie, and then it started sprinkling in these little hints of like deception, and you were like, hmm, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And then by the third act, like you said, like it was just very like morbid,
Mhm.
and like then it was like full on war and everyone was fighting, and like there was heroism, and I was like, Jesus,
Yeah.
got a whole thing going here now, baby.
No, it was nuts. It was the only character I would say that didn't have any development. I would say would be the Scarlett Johansson's character,
Hmm.
and then Bumblebee. I guess really didn't have any too much development either. He just had sword hands, which was cool, which was really funny. Like that thing was great, but I don't think they needed too much development. I think what
Yeah.
they did with Megatron, Optimus, and and there's one other character I'm blanking. I guess the main villain too, that was like operating everything.
Yeah.
Seeing them, it just it I don't know. Once again, I don't even know where to start. Like with which one, but we also called out the main. I keep forgetting his name. I'm gonna look it up so I can mention their names.
I had it pulled
Um,
up. Sentinel Prime.
Sentinel Prime. So Sentinel. So Sentinel was like the main bad guy that turned was good but turned out to be bad. His story was really really interesting, man. So he's the one that actually went in and killed the OG Transformers. And then he then had to this day had to pay off his debts to the weird. Which dude, those creatures were dope. Those like
Yeah, right.
the weird ones. They were pretty clean.
They were pretty sick.
Yeah, they were really sick. They were creepy. Looked like something from Alien. But yeah, so
No,
they
history kind of did though, low key.
no, they really did. Um, um, but yeah, so like he had to pay it off. So what he was doing is basically when he killed the OG Transformers, the Earth that they were on or the world that they were on didn't have any energy flowing through it. So then you had to have people mine for that energy, right? So then you had the miners, which is where Optimus Prime started and where Megatron started, all that. And then they had to manually take out that energy to feed the planet. Little do they know, the majority of that energy was going to these people that Sentinel had to pay off after what happened. Because the whole thing with he killed the original Transformers because he wanted that one thing. I forgot the name of it too, man. That would go in the chest of the Transformer. From the main
The
guy.
the
It's on.
Matrix, the
Yeah,
Matrix
Matrix.
thingy.
The Matrix. There you go. He wanted the Matrix. That didn't work out. So that's why the plan failed and why he needed to pay off the bad guys because now he was stuck in a rut.
Because it
So,
wasn't worthy. It's kind of like Thor's hammer. Like he had
yeah,
to be worthy of it.
exactly. Because here's the thing, and it's like in the beginning, it had, how every film and universe has its own beginning or whatever. The beginning for this one, it was a transformer that then became the world. Remember, it would attach itself
Yes.
to the world, which was crazy because that's what happened to Optimus Prime. It was nuts. The whole thing was crazy.
Yeah.
But which is wild to think of. So that was that's why I love the third act so much. Everything came back around to it, man. It tied together so beautifully for a
Yeah.
kids
Right.
movie. There was no plot holes.
Yeah. Right.
There was no
Yeah.
plot
Right.
holes.
It was pretty good.
There's no
It
plot
was
holes.
pretty good.
Everything lined up perfectly. So basically the that transformer, the OG transformer, became the world or the Earth or the planet that they're on, and it dictates who's worthy of the Matrix. And it's him that does that. So anyway, so it's a really interesting thing. So you have the Sentinel is his name, right?
Hmm.
Who basically runs this entire world underneath the surface because they live inside of the planet, and he is obviously funneling all this energy to these people and selling it because obviously he's in a rut financially after what happened when he failed to get the Matrix. So it's a really interesting storyline. I loved it. That whole part was amazing in of itself. But then you go into some of the character development, Brayden, if you want to dive into that. Like it was just you have the main storyline, but then you have all these other plots that just it felt like it would have been too much for the story, but it served it well.
Yeah, because I think they do a really good job. I think that's the best thing about this movie is the story, and like not to like negative on anything else. Like the whole movie is great, but that was like one thing that really stuck out for me because like through the entire thing you're engaged and like it didn't feel stupid or like unfeasible. Like you know what I mean? Like you have Megatron's character who doesn't want to do that at all. He's like, nah, nah, let's not do any of this. And then you have Prime who's like, nah, let's go do it. They do it. Then they kind of get put in this scenario. They make it up. They meet Bumblebee. Bumblebee tags along. And you start to gradually see, like, over the course of the movie, how Megatron starts to, like, switch into Megatron. You know what I mean? He starts to slow, like, you could see in his eyes, like, the color in his eyes were changing. Like, he would sparkle with red. And I was like, oh, no, this is not good. Just the things he was saying. And it's like, we watch Optimus Prime prove the fact that heroism is like really like the good thing at the end of the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Mm,
You have Megatron who tried to force himself into a place of power. You know what I mean? Where
right.
Optimus Prime was trying to catch and chase that dream. Realistically, you could say, I guess he wasn't complacent. He was always trying to do something. Whereas Megatron was complacent. He was always angry at Prime for getting him involved in things. But at the end of the day, every time something good came out of it, Megatron would like switch up and he'd be super happy and take all like the credit for it. And not necessarily even take the credit, but then he'd be like act like nothing ever happened. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is great. Like, yeah, I love this." And then it was like when it came down to him being a hero, like Chris Hemsworth or not Chris Hemsworth, sorry, Optimus Prime gave him that sticker. And like he took that sticker and he like I don't know, like that sticker for me was like I it was a emotional transition of like power, I guess,
Mm,
because Chris Hemsworth gave him that sticker, and after that, he just went on this like power trip, and everything that was happening, he wanted revenge, and he had to be the one to do it. He had to end him, and like whereas Hemsworth, or I keep saying Hemsworth, whereas Prime, Optimus Prime keeps just like he's like we just need to like do the right thing, man. And so you see throughout the movie that even at the end, like, yeah, there are gonna be like people who believe in Megatron, they followed him in the end of the movie. You know what I mean? Spoiler alert, of course, but like you watch how he tried to take power, but at the end, it was given to the one who like truly deserved it in Optimus Prime, and then he was able to rebuild society, how it like they kind of make the effort, and then you see
mm,
what happens with Megatron. Like he still has a group of followers.
mm.
You know what I mean? He is still a leader of something. And yeah, it was good all around. I feel like they had like obviously the main circle with Prime. We got to see him kind of be like a little shit, not like Optimus Prime, like Sentinel Prime.
Right.
He's just a jerk. You know what I mean? We got like watching him turn from like a cool, like when we first meet him, he's like, "All right, guys, I gotta go." I said at the beginning, I was like, "There's something up with this guy," but like I didn't think it was gonna be like that, and then he
It's
made it
crazy.
like that, and I was like, "Damn."
Well, even
Even
even Optimus though, you saw that side to him in the beginning. You know what I mean? He was kind of that rebel, miner.
yeah,
Because another thing with the Transformers is you have the actual Transformers, that kind of work with the Sentinel, and then you have the rest of the world, and it's crazy because it all makes sense. So, like I said earlier, he has to, have all these people mine for this energy so he can pay off the enemies. I forgot the name of them, but pay off the weird
yeah.
alien people. And so, what he would do is he knew that okay, I got to make sure I have enough miners for generations and generations. So every time a transformer was born, or whatever you want to call it, when they were created, they would take out the thing in their chest so they couldn't transform. And
The
um
cog,
and
yeah.
yeah, so then they would have to be miners. So it's a really interesting thing. So that's my point. So you have the whole so what the Sentinel did is he brainwashed the miners into thinking that they were just built or created to be miners, that they were made to be miners, and they didn't actually have the ability to transform. But really, he was taking it out of their chest and making them just be a miner, not able to transform, so we could have more
Hmm.
power and, of course, have more miners out there. So that's how Optimus actually started. And Optimus knew there was something up. You know what I'm saying? He knew that like the opening scene, he's trying to find out the history of the Matrix. And
Yeah.
so he knew that something was out there that they were hiding from him. So he always kind of had that rebel mentality. So it was really cool seeing Optimus go from being just kind of that little rebel, guy to being a leader, right? And I
It
think
was
that was
kind
a
of
really
like,
fun thing to see.
you can compare it to like Dune in a way. It's so weird to say that,
Hmm.
but where you watch, like both of their characters come from being like the background nobody with just like that spirit and that heroism to being the leader. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Optimus, like you said, Optimus Prime was just like a rebel, and then by the end of it, like people respected him because he was doing what was right for the greater good. He always had a sense of what was right. You know, even with Bumblebee and the other girl, what's her name? I can't think of their character's name right now. Alita. Like I liked how Alita became more of like forthcoming, like she wasn't so rude. At the beginning, we were like when she found out that they were in the train, she was like about to turn on them, and I'm sitting there, me and Logan, like, dude, what the hell is your problem, bro? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why is everyone trying to ruin their lives? You know what I mean? And then, even with Bumblebee, like I feel like everyone became more empowering at the end,
Yeah.
and it was it was nice to see the group get the cogs at the end and become the new like council. It was just all around a good movie. Everyone got kind of like that full circle came around for everybody, and the ending, even though yeah it sucks, like once you realized what was happening and you realized it was Megatron, like you knew how it was gonna end. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I'm so excited to see. I want to watch the old Transformers movies again, and I want to see how that transitions.
yeah,
Because yeah, they're saying they want to make a sequel, and I'm like, that's cool, but I think at the same time, I don't want to know too much about what happens before. I think a cool
if
time
they
jump will
do,
just mean more, but
yeah, that's what I was saying. If they do like a thing where it's more modern, or like, no, you have a point. That's gonna be weird because I feel like they'd keep it on their planet. Because that was the main thing I was saying. I looked at you at one point early on in the movie, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I don't want to sound stupid because obviously I've watched the
yeah,
movies, but I remember the lore. I was younger. I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought these guys were just like cars that transform on Earth. Like, what's going on? And like, I'm not trying to be dumb, but like, I didn't
Yeah,
know they
yeah.
started on another planet. Like, how'd they get to Earth? When do they go to Earth? You know what I mean?
I remember them saying that they are from another planet in the
But like,
movies, but they
yeah,
don't dive
yeah,
into it at all. There's literally
yeah.
no, at least from what I remember. Maybe not. Maybe I haven't. Like I said, I haven't seen them since elementary school, so I got to
I
go
said the
back
same
and
thing.
watch them again. But I think they definitely did mention that they were from a different Earth. I just don't even
I
remember.
agree
I don't remember
with
them saying
Deets.
that they were best friends. That Optimus and Megatron were best friends. I don't remember any of that. Um,
I see. That's funny. I think I do remember that. Not even that they were
okay,
best friends, but they
that
were
he turned
like
bad.
that. They were like friends in a way before they were on opposite sides.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
we gotta
weird just
watch.
because, yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do a second one. Like you said, either they're gonna do it again on the same planet, and it would have to be another prequel to the movies, or like they would make the transition to them on Earth.
I think you keep it out of Earth.
Yeah, I probably
You
agree.
have to. You got to keep it up there. I think that in that first Transformers movie in what 2008, I think that was their first trip to Earth. So
Yeah.
I don't get why you would. I don't think they want to touch that. I don't think they want to mess that up.
No, I
I don't
agree.
think they should do a sequel at all. I think this was a like I mean just the plot twist, the way that they did it. That's another thing too. Me and Brayden at least pointed all this stuff out, all these twists out so early on in the film. We knew what was going to happen. They still made it shocking when it did happen. That's what's crazy. You know how
Yeah,
good of a film you
you're
have to
taken off
be
guard.
to be taken
Yeah.
off guard and to execute it in a way that you might know what's happening. But like same thing with horror movies. A good jump scare, good suspense is when so even if if a jump scare is about to happen, right? If you do it in the right way, it can still scare people. It can still be suspenseful. And even if you know what's gonna happen, and there's horror movies that I watch all the time and I know exactly when something's gonna happen, but it's just done in such a good way that it just draws you in and super engaging. That's what happens with these characters. And you almost like honestly, I cared for these robots. It's weird. You know what I mean? Like I
Hmm.
felt like there was a connection there. And once again, that goes back to the amazing. I don't know who wrote this film. I'll look them up because they did such a good job in developing the screenplay. I loved it.
I'm trying to find
Also,
it.
Alita is Optimus's wife later on. By the way,
Oh yeah,
isn't that crazy?
that is a little crazy. It was directed by Josh Cooley from a screenplay by Eric Pearson. The
Eric
writing duo of
Pearson.
Andrew Barr and Gabriel Ferrari.
Yeah, hey, shout out to them, man. I mean, the way that they executed it was so good. The way that the story was like everything about this film was
Mm.
was top notch. So I had a really good
That
time.
guy, he helped write like the Pearson guy.
Mm.
He helped write Thor Ragnarok, Black Widow, Godzilla versus Kong, Thunderbolts, Blade, and Fantastic Four: First Steps.
God, well, he's with Marvel, isn't he? Jesus,
Yeah.
my man's in with Marvel. That's crazy. Good for him. Which makes sense. Oh, that makes sense then. Because think about it. You got Scarlett Johansson and Chris Hemsworth in this movie, both Marvel
Yep.
people. So it's
Yep,
just
yep,
all
yep.
connections. That's crazy, man. Hey, good for him. Another thing too, I realized what they did is right when Optimus became Optimus, I looked at Brayden and I was like, or what was Optimus's name before he became Optimus Prime? Forgot his name.
It was like Pax.
Yeah, something weird. So he becomes Optimus, and his voice didn't really change. And I heard Chris Hemsworth with an American accent, and I was like, "Dang it, bro!" I looked at Brayden, and I was like, "Why?" Now we both looked at actually at almost at the same time and said the same thing. Like, why didn't they make his voice deep?
A little
And then
deeper, yeah.
once you get to the end, like literally not long after we said that, it's almost like they took the OG voice actor and gave him lines because it sounded just like Optimus Prime. It was a great
I was
transition,
either
bro.
gonna say they either got him to do it or they had him like try to mimic that voice. You know what I mean?
Something, man,
His name
because
was Orion Pax before he became Optimus Prime.
Ryan Pax. Yeah, no, it was a really good voice, and honestly, like that just gave me chills, bro. The fighting scene was dope. Braden pointed out when Megatron goes up and pulls the Sentinel apart, and it's just a shot. There was a lot of really cool shots in this. There was a lot of um what's symmetrical shots in this, just like straight down the middle. Some really
Yeah.
interesting shots in this film. Oh, when you see Sentinel, and he has Megatron on his knees with the handcuffs, and he's got the blade to his neck, and you see his reflection in the blade. That's his close up. Like, dude, there's some dope shots, throughout this
Oh
film,
yeah,
and
yeah.
beautiful, yeah, beautiful settings and stuff. So,
For
uh,
an animated movie, bro. It's
for an
crazy.
animated film. I will say this: it's not my favorite style of animation. Like it wasn't bad; it didn't take me
Yeah.
out of it. But looking back at it, like it's definitely not. Look back at it; it's not my favorite. Not my favorite animation style. But I did still really enjoy it. It didn't take me out of it. The fighting scenes were really dope. Like I said, that third act, man, when you have all that stuff happening and it's everything kind of coming together, you have those three different groups coming together. It was amazing, dude. And yeah, and especially the scene where you have Megatron and Optimus, and then he accidentally shoots Optimus because Optimus jumps in front of the Sentinel because he has that really good moment where he's like, "Look, we don't need to start." What did he say? We don't need to start a resurgence or whatever with execution. I forgot what that line was.
Yeah.
He said something like that, or the rise of an empire with an execution, something like that. And then he just like no, like that was my thing because I agree with Megatron. Like I'd want to kill that guy too. You know what I'm saying? Like he destroyed my entire life and thousands of others' lives. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't blame him for wanting to do that. But then you have that line from Optimus that's just like, dang, bro, that's so true. You know what I'm saying? You don't want this. You don't want, the lore of what we're trying to build, the heart of what we're trying to build based off of an execution. Like it's deep. It's deep, man, and it was a great moment. And
he
then of
did
course,
it anyways.
and he did it anyways. And he has the best one of the best parts of the movie is when he's holding his hand over the ledge. Megatron's holding Optimus, and then you just see him come back up. His eyes are red. He's
Eyes are
officially
red.
Megatron, and he
I'm
drops him.
done saving you. And he dropped. Yeah,
Crazy.
I was like,
Crazy.
you bitch.
It was wild
And then
stuff.
Optimus Prime becomes God.
Facts. Falls right into the center. But yeah, really good film, man. I there's not really much else to say about it. I think the character development is some of the best development I've seen this year. Period.
Yeah,
Last
even just the
couple
movie
years.
General.
Yeah, just in movies in general. Like it was some of the best character development I've seen in a minute. So that's really good to see. The shots were great. The voice acting was great. There's some funny parts. Some stupid funny parts, but they still got us. The laugh, the it was like, what is we doing?
Yeah.
It's just so stupid. There's some really good moments in it, and I think that they did a really good job of making it kid friendly. But also giving the OG fans a great third act. You know what I mean? A really good origin story. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely one of the better movies. Me and Logan were like looking at the movie this week, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. I guess Transformers 1, I heard it was pretty good. And then he was like, yeah, bro, let's do it. And we went, and I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean?
I
I
said
didn't
that
know
right
what to
before the
expect.
film. After
Yeah.
the 19 studios that they had on this film, I looked at Brayden and
Yeah.
I was like, dude, there was another movie. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Late Night with the Devil because we watched it together. And I remember we sat there, bro, and there was probably like 18 different studios that popped up. I don't know. I forgot what movie it was, but it was crazy.
Yeah, I
This one
can't
definitely
think.
was in contention though. I promise you that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so after the 18 studios that they put up before the film, I looked at Brayden and I was like, dude, I don't know. I have no expectation. I don't know what to expect. Brayden told me right then after that, this is an origin film. And I was like, I didn't know that either. That's cool. So I literally had no idea what I was watching because I don't watch trailers. That's one thing with me. I don't watch trailers. I don't watch teasers. I try to stay, especially with like Universal stuff. I try to stay away as much as possible because they just show the whole movie. The trailer probably showed Megatron in it. I guarantee it.
You know what's funny? I don't know if I saw the trailer because I don't remember like and maybe I saw like a glimpse of the trailer, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just try to stay away from that stuff and be shocked with everything. But yeah. Let's go ahead and
Yeah, you
rate
did
it,
a great
man.
job. Yeah.
You don't have
I
anything else to
think
say?
no. It's a great movie. Go watch it.
Facts.
Spend your money. It's worth it.
It really is. It's actually a really good movie. Cool. Do I go first or do you go first?
I can't remember. I can't
I
remember.
can't
Brother.
remember.
What do
What
you want to
movies?
do?
Okay, we'll get 10 minutes, I guess. All right, cool.
Sorry.
I'll go first.
Good. Good. I like that. I like that.
I'll give this movie a 9.3.
There you fucking go. I'm probably I actually like that. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna agree with you on a
Hey, yes,
9.3.
sir. I like that.
Yeah.
The only thing that's for me that's not making it any higher is the third act is what really carries it for me. Like I
Yeah.
was telling Braden, if this movie walking out, maybe not 2 points, but I think that there's definitely a point and a half differential if that third act didn't hit the way it did. It probably goes
Yeah.
down to maybe low eights, so maybe a point.
Yeah.
But that third, I mean, look, it could be even higher than 9.3. Like I'm being maybe a little aggressive there. I could see this being a 9.5. 9.5 is probably actually a better score. But I'll stick with what I said first. But I do like 9.5. This is a film that, like I said, that it's just the third act stands out a little too much. I think the consistency isn't really there. But the build up and everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
They're just it does just kind of get a little bit drags on a little bit leading up to that at some points. But the payoff is amazing, and there was multiple times throughout this film where I looked at Brayden and I was like, oh my god, like there's just some shots where Megatron's becoming Megatron. It's just like crazy, dude. It's so dope, so
Yeah.
dope.
Oh my gosh, no, when Optimus Prime landed,
Yo,
you know what shot I'm talking about? He was on like one knee.
yo,
I can't think at the end.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like this, like the stereotypical Optimus Prime. It was nuts. It was
Yeah.
nuts. It was nuts.
It
I
was a
loved it.
great movie.
I loved it.
I'm so happy we saw it. And out of like animated movies, like it's really
We've
good.
had some
It's
bangers, bro. Think
really
about it. The
good.
past couple animated films that we've reviewed have been
Yeah, bro.
bangers.
I can't think of like a bad animated film that we've done so far.
Nope. All really good. All really good. Yeah, really. I wonder where this ranking
Would
falls with the
go.
other. I think we both
That's
had
like
Ninja Turtles.
and Mario.
Yeah, we had Mario was pretty high for me, but Mario was probably like a 9.4, maybe like I don't know. But I know Ninja Turtles we had like a 9.7. We had that thing high because it was so good.
Ninja Turtles was so
It
good.
was so good. I remember that one, but this one
I feel
was
like this might contend. Maybe it is a 9.5. Damn.
9.5 is actually a really good score. Like I said, I'm just gonna stick with it because I've said it like I'm sticking with it.
Yeah.
But 9.5 is probably a better score. But anyways, yeah, you guys let us know what you think down below, man. If
Go take a watch.
go take a watch and yeah, where does this fall for the rest of the Transformers movies with you, the rest of the animated films with you guys, yeah, let us know how you rank it on a scale of 1 to 10 down
Yeah,
below.
because maybe somebody who watched Transformers would like hate this movie.
Oh yeah, No,
So
well, especially because like there's Transformers like animated shows, you know what I mean, that have the same characters in it. There's
mhm.
Transformers comics. Like there's so many different. It's like Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different versions, and people can be pretty mad
Yeah.
at some things. So I don't know, but as just like kind of casual fans, I really enjoyed it. But you guys let us know what you think down below. Everybody watching the movie review itself, like and comment down below. We love y'all.